I too am worried about Marathon. I so badly want this game to succeed, so I'm making a video about what I think we need to see from Marathon that we haven't already been shown. If you don't know, Marathon is an extraction shooter with hero shooter elements, a long dormant IP owned and developed by Bungie. If you watched any of my videos, you know I love Bungie. But there's a few things that worry me about this newest title, so bear with me as I paint my vision for what I want this game to become and some of my gripes with what we know so far. Firstly, extraction shooter. This poses a lot of potential problems for the game, one being story. This IP is uniquely poised because of the story and lore elements. The world is objectively interesting. You have Tau Ceti, the factions, the aliens, rogue AI, and now the biomata shells or runners. There's so much going on here that's worth exploring, but the problem is, how are we going to experience any of that in-game in a meaningful way? With the small map size, there's a large chance I'm going to run into other players. There doesn't seem to be much time to explore and uncover story beats or elements, which I feel are necessary to hook players into the world that you've created. There needs to be unique, meaningful spaces to unlock and explore to keep players interested. Think dungeons or raids from Destiny. I don't mean encounters or raid mechanics, but the jaw-dropping spaces and discoveries are what would set this apart from any other extraction shooter on the market. There's moments like this in Elden Ring, for instance, where you find an elevator to a giant underground cave you can explore and do stuff in. These are the kinds of things we've grown to expect from games. The spectacle of finding a new play space with things to do in it needs to be a core element of a game like this. There's something else I'd like to add in the extraction shooter problem. Extraction shooters aren't for everyone. They're inherently difficult to get into and understand, which is part of their appeal. Simplifying the core elements of the extraction shooter like ammo types and loot values takes away from the experience, in my opinion. Either you lean into what makes the extraction shooter fun and unique, or you add something to that core gameplay loop such that the game stands on its own. That's why I propose play spaces and spectacle being the hook for this game. Second issue I have is map size, player count, and the match timer. I stated before some of the potential issues the small maps could present, but I'll reiterate. If this is an extraction shooter, I'd like there to be some downtime in between engagements. Not only to loot, but to interact with the world in a meaningful way. I don't want to think of the play space as a map. I want to be immersed like I am in Destiny, Elden Ring, Dishonored, etc. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to do that when the maps aren't large enough to allow me the time to uncover secrets or complete quests. The proposed 18 player count seems odd as well. I don't know if there's engine issues, but with bigger worlds, more players are a welcome addition. I also think time gating players with match timers is a bit of a missed opportunity. Hear me out. A unique vision for an extraction shooter in my book would be a decently large open world with secrets, public events, things to discover, many points of interest with potential for larger player counts and no match timer, with the ability to load in new players after the teams are wiped. That to me sounds like what this game should have been or should become. Look at this cinematic trailer. I want to run that beach or explore that complex, find anomalies, and exist in that play space as if it were a real world with the ability to extract whenever my backpack is full or I found some killer loot. What I'm proposing here is basically an open world MMO light PvPvE server with the ability to extract. That's an instant hook. My next problem, hero shooter. I have nothing against having abilities or the mechanics of hero shooter gameplay, but it poses a couple of problems. Character customization. Originally, this game was said to have character customization, and with these character archetypes, I don't see that happening. You've locked us into a particular aesthetic choice with the addition of heroes. It's something I can forgive if there's the ability to customize my colors or change limbs and add accessories independent from each other, like I can in Halo or Destiny. But I really do not want to see coverall skins like Apex or Fortnite in the game. It's just not enough coming from Bungie, a studio that has done customization so well for years. If there are coverall skins, I at least want the autonomy to color my character however I please, and also potentially add armor accessories like you can in Warframe. If they come as microtransactions and they come in sets where I can pick and choose what parts of that skin set I wear, then fine, I can live with that. But I also want there to be character cosmetics to discover or unlock in-game. Second issue with hero shooters is balance and team composition. It's almost inevitable there will be complaints or issues in the game with certain team comps or character abilities. Already people are planning to run a squad of 3 Blackbirds with unlimited team wall hacks. This sounds quite powerful, and I hope it doesn't become a problem. No solo queue game type. I've only heard one semi-logical reason as to why solo queue won't be in the game. That is, everyone will run Void and be invisible, which I think is a little nonsensical considering Blackbird is a built-in hard counter to Void's invisibility. I don't know, it doesn't make sense. The only other reason Bungie have given us is because they want it to be a team experience. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but nobody cares what Bungie wants. People have been overly vocal that they can't always find 2 people to play with, and they don't want to queue with randoms, where having bad teammates could destroy your potential for a successful run. Just straight up not giving the players enough autonomy to play alone is a weird trend nowadays. I'm gonna have a hard time convincing my friends to play this game with me, and by the looks of things, I'm gonna have an even harder time convincing them to stay. We need solo lobbies, hell, give us duo lobbies too. It's not gonna hurt. Last major issue of mine is story. As I touched on before, this game has such an awesome world. We can't be experiencing all of the important story beats out of game. I don't want to hear about important events from an AI companion or a faction rep. I want to be in the world experiencing them firsthand, or even influencing them directly. And I definitely don't want Grimoire cards. I'm assuming this game will have minimal storytelling, which can work, and has worked in games like Dark Souls and Elden Ring. But it works there because there's enough spectacle, mystery, and sheer content to explore and delve into. I'm equal parts excited and apprehensive for this game because of all the awesome things we've seen and the potential that those elements have. I know it's too early to tell, but if this game doesn't have or doesn't grow to become a large majority of what I mentioned above, I don't see it having the kind of staying power like Destiny, Elden Ring, Fortnite, Marvel Rivals, Halo, etc. Just to concisely wrap up what I want this game to be, I want an open world PvPvE game with the ability to extract. I want customization methods that are earnable in-game. I want public events, things to explore, and secrets to find. Call me crazy, but think multiplayer Elden Ring with extraction mechanics. That sounds like a game I'd play endlessly. Okay everybody, thanks for listening to me yap. If you enjoyed this video, leave a comment about what you want Marathon to be, and like and subscribe. I've been Guilty.
What the hell kind of name is
Guilty.